I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
Look, I live the life I deserve. Bless. Fuck a vacay, I feel better at work. I mean whatever it's worth, I give whatever I'm worth. For my niggas who gon' go to hell and back for me, I'ma give them heaven on earth for a hell of a check, yeah, whichever come first. Blessings on blessings on blessings. Look at my life, man, that's lessons on lessons on lessons. Yo, what up? This the Wolf of LA, reporting for duty. I know it's been a minute, a long fucking minute, since I've, blessed y'all with this fucking podcast. And as you can see, my no cursing policy is getting tested a little bit. I'm gonna try to cool it down, but still, I'm just here. A lot of things have been going on since last time that I posted something. I had to take some time off because one of my friends, one of a really close friends of mine, passed away. So I had to take some time and just kind of reevaluate my life, reevaluate a lot of shit that was going on. But I'm back now. And fuck, man, I wish I could tell you the country and everybody else is back, and things are cool. Last time we left, we still had a black president. Now that I'm back, we have an orange president. Yup. Y'all motherfuckers was that stupid. Well, not all of you guys, but most of you guys. Apparently, the majority of you guys were stupid enough to go out there and vote for an orange president, man. Someone who has literally every single fucking day violated some sort of right. Talked without thinking. Pretty much violated everything that your mama taught you not to fucking do when you were younger. He does it. He speaks out his ass. He just makes up shit. Then he practically, in his mind, he drops the fucking mic and walks off like he just dropped some knowledge on your ass, dude. Everything from foreign policies to just exactly what he can and can't do. It's just been bad, man. The most recent fuck up he's been doing is, there's these supposedly self-proclaimed white liberals. Well, they're not white liberals. White nationalists, right? They call themselves white nationalists, but it's bullshit because nationalists fight for their country. Okay? And these white nationalists, quotation marks, they carry the Confederate flag, which is known to have beefed it with the early United States of America because they were against what people wanted America to become. So that's inaccurate. And then they're waving the Nazi flag, which the last time, from what I can recall, America was one of the few countries that put their foot to ass toward the Nazis for the sick shit that they were doing, among other things. But again, two things that they're mirroring or they're choosing to adopt. And both of them lost. The Nazis got their ass handed to them in World War II, and the Confederates lost. Why you would want to model your organization after two groups that lost whatever they were fighting for, respectively, is beyond me, So, let's call it what they are. These fucking racist bigots, just fucking backwards, half-ass thinking motherfuckers. One of them in a protest, some people were protesting against them, and so this guy decides to run his fucking car into the crowd. And these guys that are, so-called, the master race, we're all about white people, killed a white woman, right? That's the dumbest shit ever. If I'm out here with a sign that says save the whales, and I kill a fucking whale on my way to save the whales. That kind of falls under the, it falls under the category of being fucking retarded. And mind you, I'm offending people with, not even mentally challenged people, just they're handicapped. They have a reason why they can't do certain things. These guys are just stupid. And as always, you know me, I take notes from one of the greats, Charlemagne the God. I give credit to people, full credit to people for being stupid. And so, shout out to the racist motherfuckers out there just making themselves look bad. So, our president takes about a couple of days to denounce racism. He doesn't go out there and say racism is bad. He's done about four statements since then, but it's like he went out there. You could tell somebody told him, "Hey, you gotta get the fuck out there and say something, or else you really just gonna, you're showing your true colors, man. So you can't just let it slide, right?" So then this motherfucker comes out there and goes, "Racism is bad. I didn't, it's really bad. It's unacceptable." And that wasn't enough. And it seems like, he went he he could practically I could practically see him in his mind turn around and give the thumbs up and wink. Yes, racism is bad. So then he goes back to the White House, does whatever he does. Then the Confederate statues start getting pulled down in the South, right? Then he comes out and goes, "Yo, this is wrong. You know, all these Nazi people are not so bad. All these uh, white nationalists, again, quotation marks, are not so bad. They're good people. They do all these things." These people are the same people who are okay with killing people, with discriminating people off of the color of their skin. These are the same people who talk shit and would and showed up, mind you. When I saw this shit, I was like, wow, they really don't know. No, fuck that. They know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. But unlike before, we're not fucking scared. We're not scared. There's a lot of us. And they did that shit in the South where they can kind of still get away with it. You come with that shit here in the East Coast or the West Coast and you get fucking run out. You get your ass beat. And I'm not condoning violence, but if you show up to my fucking door with tiki fucking, what was it, tiki lanterns or some shit like that, like the little tiki fire candle, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? So I saw it and it was reminiscing to when the KKK used to show up at black people's houses with torches, and they used to pretty much call out the black male in out of his house, grab him, or kick in the door, set his fucking house on fire, kick in the door, grab him, beat him within an inch of his life, cut his manhood off, and then proceed to fucking hang him in a tree. If you don't believe me, there's a lot of historical, uh, you know, facts to back that up. And if you see it in movies, if people are shocked in movies, and people are like, it's a movie. No, these things are based on real events. On real events, man. There were real people that actually got hanged. They got dragged out of their house. Their house got burnt. Their women got raped. Their children got killed. Their children got taken and sold into slavery. And they hanged them. They beat them. They hanged them. They cut off their manhood. And they just left them there to die. I'm not making this shit up. This shit happened. And I know this is just a glimpse of the horror that a lot of people lived in those days. And, it's not those days anymore. But these motherfuckers are like, oh yeah, well we're doing this shit to, because we're losing jobs or because whatever bullshit they wanna, you know, come up with. And yeah, okay, people are losing their jobs. Everybody loses their jobs. Everybody's struggling. Guess what? It's life. As the moment that you breathe, you're going to struggle. You have to fight for everything that you got. We don't fucking bitch and go, oh my God. Um, well, this white guy is making $26 an hour, and I'm getting paid $10 or $11, the minimum, and we got the same bills. Cause guess what? We all eat, we all shit, we all sleep, we all have, eventually we all have children, we all have ourselves to fucking keep, and so we all have the same expenses in life. That motherfuckers want to do this shit in a 3-story yacht is something different. That these motherfuckers want to do. They want to have houses and own cars or whatever. Guess what? Anyone that wants something in life, anyone, you want to learn how to read, guess what? You have to put in the time to learn how to read. You want to learn how to talk, you got to learn how to talk. Fuck it. To even walk, you have to learn that you have to start crawling. You have to start fucking moving in order to get to walking and running. So everything in life takes effort, takes struggle. And these motherfuckers don't want to struggle. I see people, I've been on the same block where I see, a white person. And I'm not, I personally don't want to sound racist and be like, oh, white people, white people, white people. Dude, there's douchebags, there's assholes, there's racist people, and all kinds of shit. I personally don't fucking condone any kind of racism, okay? I don't do it. I don't condone it. I tell you straight up, fuck racism. I was brought up in a Hispanic, Latino, whatever you want to call it, household, right? And so there's always, even within Hispanic people, there's this division, and they bring this division from other countries here, and that I'm not okay with. I don't condone. I don't accept it. And so I'm definitely not going to accept it from white people, from black people, from whoever the hell it is. Now, after I make my point, then I'm gonna go into a couple of discussions, a couple of stories, that I have for you guys. So, I've seen personally this white guy, and everybody's seen the meme or whatever, but I've actually seen it in person. I've seen this white guy standing there begging for money, and then maybe 10, 20 feet, there's a Hispanic person, and he's selling oranges or he's selling flowers on the fucking freeway. He's trying to hustle and have a craft. Maybe not a craft, maybe it's just something, but he's trying to sell something. He's not just begging for a fucking handout. So the stereotype is that, oh, Hispanic people are just beggars and they're fucking lazy and everything. Where the fuck is that come from? Because from what I've seen and from the people that I've been around, there's only been hard workers. My grandma is damn near in her 80s, okay? She's like 75. And this lady does not want to stop working. And she gets frustrated and she gets mad. And it's not out of necessity. Because believe me, my grandma can hold her own. She can retire and she'll be straight in a small house or a small apartment, and she'd be good. She'd be straight. But even so, she keeps working because she says, I don't want to get old. The moment I stop moving, the moment I stop working, I'm gonna get old. I don't think she's gotten the memo that she is old because, her body's starting to give out on her, but she doesn't care. She works her ass off. My father, which I don't get along with, he works all the time. He's never stopped working. I can knock him on almost anything, from his character, but he's a hard worker, you know, and so on and so forth. My mother, my cousins, my friends, my Hispanic friends, they're always working. They never ever turn down money. At least the old generation, I've never seen them turn down money. So, there's this bullshit of like, oh, excuse me, there's all these Hispanic people that are like, oh, we're lazy. I don't get where it comes from. Now, if I'm gonna address the issue of racism, I'm gonna address it completely. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, white people are this, white people are that. And I was listening to this podcast recently, because I listen to other people's podcasts. And I like conversation, and so I was listening to these. I think it was, where was it? Yes, I was listening to the Christopher Titus podcast, right? And he had a guest on there, and his guest made a good point. He said the difference between the Republicans and the liberals is that liberals don't want to have rules. No matter where you are, no matter what organization you want to have, right? Fuck it. Even the hippies, I honestly think the hippie generation or the movement would have lasted longer if there was rules. If it was like, hey, it's free love, you can have sex with whoever you want and do as many drugs or whatever, as long as you have safe sex and as long as you don't, you know, I don't know, start doing heroin or something. You can just smoke weed and have sex all day and just chill out. That's fine. But once you catch a disease or once you're not taking care of yourself, then it becomes a problem. And that's where that fault was. The people from this era didn't have any rules, and so it eventually spiraled out of control. Now, for political views, say whatever you want about races, but they're organized. Fuck it. They even have a uniform. The Nazis had a uniform. They even had the little secret. Well, it wasn't secret, but they had the hand salute and everything. They showed up to Klan meetings. They have their little, very very gay pillowcases over their head. You know, so liberals don't do that. Liberals want to fix everything, but they don't have any rules. And unfortunately, you can't fix everything at the same time. Despite what anybody wants to say, despite what anybody wants to believe, it takes time. And unfortunately, everyone that's on the same side starts having issues with one another because it's like, well, we gotta fix immigration first. No, we gotta fix racism first. Well, immigration is part of racism, but black people are first. No, Hispanic people are first. No, we've been suffering longer, and no, we have to focus on abortion, and no, we have to focus on women's rights, and you know, no, we have to give trans people their rights now because they popped up now, and apparently they've been in the closet for a long time, and no, we have to give the rights to this person and that person. There's never any agreement. It's just get the fucking line. It's supposed to be that. You're supposed to get in line. Everybody, all the organizations can, work at the same time and work for their own cause or and everything. But unfortunately, the people in power, not this president, because this president is just a fucking joke. He's a piece of shit. But anyone in power, most presidents, anyone who's ever tried to make a change and they're in position of power, can't do everything at once. They can't. So many people have been like, oh, well, healthcare, and we want healthcare, and we want healthcare. Obama offered the Obamacare, and then when everyone was like, he just pretty much said, fuck it, you guys all have to pay. And I've never seen anyone, I get it that it goes into people's pockets, but it's like we want change, we want change. Okay, we're gonna have to stand in the rain for 6 hours. Well, I don't want change that much. I mean, I guess we can hold on for another 7, 8 years. No, people bitch about change and they're not willing to pack lunch for it. You know what I mean? So Obamacare was basically telling everyone, fuck it. You guys are all going to pay for your health care. That way, nobody is not covered. I'm simplifying, by the way. So everyone is covered. So nobody is freeloading off of the fucking system. Everyone it was supposed to be from rich people to poor people. They gotta pay for Obamacare. Uh, they at least broke you for a good 80 to 100 or $200 a month or something like that. It's like $150 a month for every person in your family, whatever. That's why everybody has to work and pitch in. But by the way, um, that's how it would work. And so people started bitching. They're like, no, you can't force me. Hey, if I want to die of cancer, if I want to not give a fuck, if I would not want to get my tested and die of AIDS, fuck it, that's me. Okay. Unfortunately, while you're trying to fix healthcare and everyone all of a sudden goes, nah, fuck it, we don't agree with it, or no, it's flawed, then nothing gets done. You know what I mean? Obama also introduced the visas for the Dream Act, right? The Dream Act. If you didn't have any felonies, he did it in a way where it was so smooth that he basically Obama did the difference between Obama and Trump, aside from the fact that one is an actual intellectual person, the other one is a fucking walking Cheeto, is that Obama didn't go out and say, I don't want terrorists, I don't want rapists, I don't want criminals, I don't want this, that, and the other, because every person is horrible and people from Mexico are this and that. No. What he said was, okay, you're Hispanic, you're illegal, and you want to be legal here. Okay, cool. Now, if you don't have any felonies, if you have been here for a certain amount of time and you are going to school and you are uh, a productive member of society, then you're going to get this permit to work for 2 years. And if you don't fuck up in those 2 years, you can renew your work permit. Other than that, then you get the fuck up out of here if you apply. Now, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that because if in the past 10 years you've been trying, like most people have, and most people that I know have, that you just been working, you just been trying to make ends meet, and you've been trying to fight it, being good at against all odds. Because I get it that sometimes it's very difficult, and trust me, I've heard every fucking kind of story of people why they gangbang, why they sell drugs, why this and that. Dude, you cannot fucking tell me anything because I have been in a excuse me, I have been in a horrible time in my life. I was dumpster diving, okay? I went and I had to pay my rent and I had to pay bills. And it was the most difficult thing in the world doing it without a job. And I had kids, okay? I had my two kids. My second born had been recently born. And I had my older son. And so I went around every night on, was it Thursdays and Mondays or something like that, because the neighboring neighborhoods, the trash came out on Mondays or Fridays or something like that. So rather than uh, hit the unemployment line, or rather than go and sell drugs or go rob somebody, guess what I did? Guess what your boy did? He went out, he got a long sleeve shirt, got a little bit of money, invested in some gloves, a flashlight, or a head flashlight. Then I went and proceeded to going through everybody's fucking garbage and finding bottles and glass bottles, aluminum cans, plastic bottles. And then I proceeded to doing so the almost the entire night until I went through about two, three, four neighborhoods, okay? And I would walk around the streets and look for little cans and things like that, look for metal stuff, and then at the end of the week I would go and I would cash it in and I would get that money and I would save that money. I would pay for a little bit of food. I would pay a couple of bills and stuff like that, but I did it. I never went, fuck it, I'm gonna rob a bank. Fuck it, I'm gonna start selling crack. Because guess what? Landing in jail wasn't gonna be the smartest thing to do, especially when I had two kids depending on me. So that, oh, it's hard, and oh, I'm a product of my environment bullshit. I don't have any pity for these motherfuckers that they use that excuse for that. So that's why I agreed with the Dream Act. Okay, so that was cool. And, you know, like I said, liberals need some sort of rules because everybody, seriously, every new group pops up and they want every single right and they want all the money and all the funding. Come on, let's be fucking realistic. Shit that falls under everyone. Guess what? Illegals come in trans, gay, straight, uh, dark skin, light skin. So the immigration issue is a bigger umbrella covering a lot of things, right? And then again, discrimination and racism is a larger umbrella rather than the sub genres, if you would call it, of things that are wrong with this country. If nobody has a job, if the economy is shit, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, trans, you're gonna find yourself in the unemployment line or begging for money or having to do some weird shit for some money. So there are things that need to be fixed that fall and that are unfortunately a bigger umbrella and cover everyone regardless of sex, of sexual preference, gender, and race. And then, everything needs to get fixed one by one. It has to trickle down, and then eventually everyone will get to you in line. You get me? And I know it's frustrating, but hell, it has to be done because that's the only way things are gonna get done in this country. That's the only way things are going to get done. If not, we're just going to spend the entire time just fighting with one another and acting like, oh my God, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And oh my God, this person is getting in line first. Fuck him because I felt like I was discriminated one time in fourth grade a year ago. I mean, like 20 years ago. And so now I'm scarred for life. Now, if you're wasting someone's fucking time with having them find you or make you a special little bathroom, it doesn't matter. Guess what? One of the places that I visit to, one of the restaurants that I actually like to frequently go to and eat there, guess what they did? They eliminated gender bathrooms. They said they just put right there, boy or girl, and they just put a fucking bathroom. And it doesn't matter. The bathroom is big enough, and guess what? If you can use it, cool. If you get there first, you use it. If you don't, then you gotta wait. And then when the person, whoever or whatever the fuck that person is, walks out, you can go take a dump. You can walk in there after that person, take a dump, take a shit, pee standing up, pee upside down, uh, pee through your fucking mouth. It doesn't matter. You get to do it. Problem fucking solved. You were wasting time arguing about should these people have or those people have and that people don't. Bullshit. They're just a waste of fucking time. Okay? Now, on to, I was talking about racism everywhere, right? So, I recently saw the Mayweather and McGregor fight, right? So, I was invited to a party, so I went with the person, and we were watching a fight, right? And there was kids around. It's kind of like a kids. They were celebrating someone's birthday, like a kid's birthday, but also they were watching the fight. So it's fine, you know. I always I'm like whatever. I don't like going to any like house parties or anything because I know what goes on. I know that if you find yourself in the wrong house party, things can go south, right? Especially because you don't know who's going to show up and what people do. It's like they say, you never know someone until you know them. So, this person, um, we're there. We're having a good time and everything. And so then the fight starts. I see a couple of grown ass people start drinking. And I'm not against drinking. Hell, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But then when you start drinking to get drunk in a kid's party, that's when I have an issue. Because then you tend to do stupid shit, or people that are fucking drunks tend to do stupid shit, and they forget kids are around. Okay? Now, kids are not that. Most kids, like, for example, my kids are not that fucking sensitive to where if they hear a cuss word, their ears are gonna start bleeding and they're gonna go, "Oh my god, no, a cuss word." They just know that if, figuratively speaking, if they repeat the bad word that they heard, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get punished. They're gonna get disciplined. They're not allowed to cuss. They know better than that. But other kids, they don't, or they pick stupid habits up, right? So we're in the fight. I mean, we're watching the fight, and I'm sitting there. I can say it was all Hispanic people. Excuse me. It was all Hispanic people, right? So then this guy has his phone attached to a speaker, right? And so he starts typing in funny things, or it started out funny, right? Starts typing in funny things, then hits read or something to where his iPhone or whatever the hell he had reads it out loud, right? So it starts being this funny thing, right? So he has a couple of jokes and they're funny, right? And then because it's a Mayweather and McGregor fight, as most of you know or maybe don't know, Mayweather is black, right? So, or African American. I don't call people, black people, African American because one, they're not from Africa. They're just American. They just happen to be dark skinned, right? McGregor is a Irish guy. He's a very white Irish guy, right? So there's no Hispanic people fighting in this fight. right? But there's a black person and an Irish guy, right? Which they kind of, if most Hispanic or some stupid Hispanic people or most people in general, they just see light skin and go, hey, he's white. No, this dude is Irish. So a black and an Irish guy, right? They're fighting. One's a boxer, one's an MMA fighter. This is this big deal about the fight. But anyway, I'm sidetracking. So then people start making stupid comments. Then people started going, "Oh yeah, beat that N word." So my antennas went up. Like, what the, what the fuck? Like, did I just hear what I heard? And then I thought I hadn't heard it, right? So I was like, okay, I didn't hear shit. Forget it. And then I hear this drunk dude start saying something. So I'm like, okay, he's drunk. I'm gonna have to say something because if not, there's kids around. If I don't say something, then And so some other people said, "Hey, calm down," but they were telling him to calm down just because he was riling. He was getting riled up. It wasn't because he dropped the N word, right? So then the host of the fight, uh, toward the end of the fight and stuff, goes and he starts typing on his phone. He's like, "Oh, you're," he's like, "Shut up, so and so. Uh, your grandpa is a black guy." And he said black guy, not N word, right? And so everyone starts laughing. And then he types N word lover, right? And then he presses read again, and then read, and then read. So it keeps pressing, and then everyone, not everyone, but most people in that party start laughing, right? And so I tell the person I'm with, okay, we gotta go. Okay, fuck the fight, fuck whatever it is, we gotta go, because if I stay here, the fight was pretty much over. So we gotta go because I'm not okay with that. And I'm gonna end up punching someone in the face. Because if you guys haven't heard or if you guys don't remember, if I've never mentioned it, I have a best friend who I still consider my best friend. And hell, she's like my sister. If anyone asks, that's my sister. And she happens to be black. Okay? And so I take offense to that. I do. I don't give a fuck if no one's there, if no one's around or whatever, right? And so I started thinking about the N word and about how, people say it in raps and stuff like that. It's like, all right, there's that debate of like Hispanic people saying it, as long as it's not offensive or whatever. A lot of people get passes for it, but it made me uncomfortable because they weren't using it in a term of endearment or friendly or whatever the hell it was. It was just something very stupid, and I wasn't okay with it. And then I'm looking around and I see all these children, and all these children see their families laughing, their people laughing, and they're being taught that it's okay to say that. Until obviously, you don't run into someone checking you because we're all kind of segregated into different groups. Like, I live in a Hispanic neighborhood, or you live in an Armenian neighborhood, or you live in a black neighborhood, or predominantly black or white or Armenian or Hispanic or Asian or Korean or Chinese, whatever the hell it is, right? So you never really run into anyone that's going to punch you in the mouth for saying the N word up until you do, right? Because if you're not around, African American people or black folks, then no one's ever gonna correct you. So, I ended up leaving the party and everything, and then in between all that, because of some people's reactions, I was like, maybe I'm overreacting, but I'm not. In my heart, I knew it was wrong, and I'm not okay with it because, um, my best friend Shaw, she has a small kid. She has a kid about my kid's age, my youngest kid's age, right? And so I wouldn't be okay with someone walking up to the little kid and going, "Hey, well, you're an N word," because I pop him in the mouth without hesitation. I punch him in the fucking mouth. So I'm not okay with that. And I personally, I know that there's this well known dislike between the Hispanic community and some Hispanic people. I don't want to say community. Some Hispanic people and some black folks, And so there's like, oh, hey, wetbacks, or hey, whatever. And I'm not one of those people. I don't. I get along with everyone. I had the luck of getting along with every Hispanic type of person, every race, every color, every creed. I've never had a disagreement over religion unless somebody tries to shove it in my face and down my throat and starts telling me that my kids are bastards or something like that. Other than that, I have no problem. Everyone can do whoever they want, praise whatever they want, as long as it doesn't hurt me or my people or the people that I love, I'm okay with. So, I say that to say we need to do better. It's not just about yelling and picketing and, trying to fuck with people that fuck with us. We have to gradually try to do better. And I think we are. I think we're mixed enough now that it's not as bad as before. And eventually, hey, you know, eventually we will all be mixed. We'll all be mixed. There'll be a little bit of white and Hispanic and black in every family, to the point where if you discriminate someone, you're just gonna start hating your own family, which yeah, some people do. But it'll just it'll get to the point where it's just kind of retarded to do so, So, and I want personally to teach my sons to just be cool with everyone. The only time I tell my sons, hey, it's like, know how to defend yourself. You don't punch anyone in the face unless they try to hurt you. Other than that, you live and you let live. That's the whole thing. That's the goal, you know. So I'm at 37 minutes. I'm gonna cut it here because the only times now, like for season 2, the only times I'm gonna go past 40 minutes is when I have a guest. Other than that, I'm gonna try to keep it to about 35, 38 minutes, maybe 40. But, so I can put out more content, and I'm gonna be more consistent and just put one out every week, or maybe two episodes a week. I'm probably gonna do that. So I'm gonna bunch up a couple of things, everywhere. But this is gonna be my first one. Hey, I wanted my first episode. I wanted to come out swinging, and so I'm probably gonna post this up maybe by the end of the week, or no, midweek. Wednesday, and then I'll probably drop one every Wednesday and every weekend. So I'm gonna do that. But other than that, I hope everyone's been okay. You ain't got nobody pregnant, or child support hasn't gone up since you last heard me. Since you last heard me, a couple of people have gotten married. They're getting married. Some people left my life. Some people came into my life. Unfortunately, it took some time because I lost a good friend of mine. And, God rest your soul, Iris. It took me a while to come visit you, but I did. And she was one of my guests in my old, not in my old podcast, in the first season. It sucks because sometimes I go back and I listen to the episode, man. I miss her a lot, and I promised her that we would do that she was gonna be in season 2. I told her she had to be, and obviously now she can't, and it sucks. But you know, this is why I call my podcast "Life as It Happens," because I'm just taking things as they happen, and so how I say it, and we're still working on the outro, but if you had good days, bad days, if you find yourself waking up in the middle of the field naked and you don't know what happened, just smile and laugh, because this is just life as it happens. I'm out. Wolf.